Today, we're going to crack open a financial report to uncover a massive story. It's all about how the company that probably built the phone you're holding is quietly transforming itself to build the very backbone of the AI revolution. So let's dive right in. This all comes from a Citi research report on a company called High Precision, but you and we probably just know them as Foxconn. And the headline, well, it pretty much gives the whole game away. Analysts are basically saying that AI is about to send this company's stock soaring. Okay, so the very first thing that just leaps off the page in this report is this number. Citi has jacked up its target price for the stock all the way to 215 new Taiwan dollars. I mean, that is a huge vote of confidence. So you gotta ask, why? What are they seeing? To figure that out, we're gonna break their analysis down into 5 key pieces. First, we'll look at the buy signal itself. Then, we'll unpack the numbers from their last quarter, dive into the real story here, the AI server boom, and see what that means for the future. And of course, we'll wrap up with a look at the risks to keep things balanced. All right, first up, that strong buy signal. Now look, a buy rating from analysts is them telling the market, hey, you should purchase this stock. But what makes this one so compelling is the mountain of evidence they're piling up to back that claim. So here's the argument in a nutshell. Their recent results blew past forecasts. Their own outlook for what's next, super strong. But the real engine here, the thing driving all this excitement, is this explosive growth in AI servers. They're not just dipping their toes in, they're aiming to grab more than 40% of the entire market. And their secret weapon? Something called vertical integration. Basically, it means they control everything from the tiny components to the final product, which gives them this massive, massive edge. Okay, so all this optimism sounds great, but what's actually backing it up? Let's get into the hard numbers from their most recent quarter, the results that really got Wall Street buzzing. Check out this first figure, a 27% year-over-year jump in net profit. Now, for a company this absolutely massive, that kind of growth is, well, it's just seriously impressive. And get this, it wasn't just good, it was a total shocker. That profit growth beat Citi's own forecast by 16%. That tells you the company isn't just meeting expectations, they're running way ahead of what even the experts thought was possible. Now, in the report, you'll see these acronyms, GPM and OPM. What on earth are they? Think of them as just simple measures of how good a company is at making money. Gross profit margin, or GPM, is what's left over right after they've built the product. OPM, operating profit margin, is what's left after they pay for all the day-to-day stuff. The takeaway is simple. Higher is always better, and Highs were way better than anyone expected. So how'd they do it? How did they boost those margins so much? It all comes down to a really crucial shift in what they're selling. They're moving away from things with thin margins and focusing way more on high-value, super profitable cloud and networking equipment. This isn't just a good quarter, you see. It's a fundamental change in their strategy. And that right there brings us to the absolute heart of this story, the AI server boom. This is where High is placing its biggest bet. It's the reason analysts are forecasting such dramatic growth. Yeah, this is the part you really gotta understand. We all use AI through our screens, through software, right? But all of that software, every single query, has to run on incredibly powerful custom-built hardware. High is making a calculated move to become the world's #1 builder of that physical backbone. And you can literally see that transformation happening right here. Look at 2023. AI was just a tiny slice of their server business. But then look at the forecast for 2025 and beyond. It just explodes. It becomes the dominant piece of the pie, well over half their server revenue. This is a complete re-engineering of the company right before our eyes. And if you want to know just how fast this is happening, management is forecasting a 300% quarter-over-quarter increase in shipments for things like NVIDIA's brand new GB200 racks. No, that is not a typo. 300%. In 3 months. The sheer scale of this it's just hard to wrap your head around. For 2025 alone, the company is guiding for its AI server revenue to blow past 1 trillion new Taiwan dollars. This isn't a side hustle anymore. This is quickly becoming a core pillar of the entire business. Okay, so with that kind of insane momentum in AI, what does all this mean for the company's actual profits? Let's look at the forecast. So because of this AI explosion, Citi is just jacking up its profit forecasts, what they call earnings per share, or EPS. And look, they're not just making little tweaks here. For 2026 and 2027, they're boosting their estimates by a huge 13%. That's a signal that they've had to completely rethink how profitable this company is going to be. And really, that leads us to the core reason for the buy rating. The excitement around Hanhai isn't just about one hot new product. It's about a deep, fundamental shift in the whole business, moving it towards something much more balanced and with way higher growth potential, all thanks to AI. But of course, no investment is a sure thing. And to its credit, the report is really clear about the other side of the coin, the potential roadblocks and risks that could derail this whole story. On the one hand, you have the bull case, the optimistic view, right? They capture the next wave of AI hardware, their vertical integration model crushes the competition, and their business becomes way more balanced. But the downside risks are just as real. What if iPhone demand slows down? What if competitors get more aggressive? And honestly, pulling off a strategic pivot this massive is never, ever guaranteed. So look, if you only remember one thing from all of this, let it be this. The company that builds your phone is making a huge, strategic all-in bet to become the company that builds the future of AI. And that leaves us with this really fascinating question, not just for Hanhai, but for the entire tech industry. As the AI software gets smarter and smarter, is it possible that the real power, the true architects of our AI future, will be the ones who build the physical foundation that it all runs on? It is a massive gamble. And believe me, the whole world is watching to see how it plays out.